Hi there.
Hello.
Electric football, the Vikings won! Woo! Half moon, you better live up to that bet, baby. I'm wearing a Viking jersey. It's our division. Mighty gazelle, run with me on the plains.
He begrudgingly
the
accepted
plains
that.
of Canada, where we will see Geo. Sorry, had a moment there. We have Washington at Dallas, and I hate Dallas. It's nice to see them suffering both, on the field, in the courtrooms, in the corporate boardroom. It's nice to see Jerry Jones getting his ass kicked. What do you mean I'm not on the competition committee? I'm on the compensation committee. I'm on all the committees. I run the NFL. I'm Jerry Jones. Where the hook is at?
I'll sue.
He was going to sue the NFL because, Ezekiel Elliott beat his wife. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. Give me Washington. I thought they controlled the game against the Giants. They've been the more consistent team this year than the Cowboys. Give me Washington on hatred alone.
Yeah, there's nothing saying that the Redskins are that much better a team than Dallas at this point. They just seem to be playing harder. They seem to have more life in them. And that's the only reason. I think Dallas, without Ezekiel Elliott, has called it in. I think Jerry Jones is a big distraction. I'm taking the Redskins.
And quite frankly, when you talk about – we're going to talk a lot about coaches. When you talk about coaches that maybe should have been jettisoned already, what is it that Jason Garrett brings to the table? Like, I'm really not clear.
New pictures of Jarrah.
Everybody has new pictures of
that's
Jarrett.
true.
It's not like he's ashamed of those. I'm pretty well hung. I'm Jerry Jones. You should see it. It's like a big steer horn down there. Vikings at Falcons, and as you know, I am a long-suffering Viking fan. I love where we're at. I think we just took the division with the win. Lions tried to cheat on that little block kick, scared the hell out of me, almost ruined Thanksgiving.
Boy, that certainly did.
But they got caught. But I like the Falcons in this game. The Falcons a few games ago righted the ship. Julio Jones has become a monster again. And they have the hardest schedule. Look at their schedule. It's ridiculous. They turn around after this game and have to play on Thursday against the Saints. I think they have the Saints twice and Carolina once in the last few games. They need this game desperately. They're going to come out with everything they have, laying it on the line, and I think they get the win here. And I don't think that's such a bad thing for the Vikings, really.
Well, the only thing that scares me is that gets them out of home field advantage, and I think that'll be a distinct advantage for Minnesota in that division.
It's going through Philly anyway.
Oh, you never know. We still have 6 games left to play or so. But anyway, I agree with you. I think Atlanta, although they've been up and down, I think they have righted the ship. Minnesota, although they've been firing on all cylinders, have to travel here. Not 100% sure on this pick, but I believe Atlanta just has a little more firepower this week. They're home. That's the only reason I'm taking them.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if the Vikings win. We're certainly playing well above our expectations.
Yep.
But Atlanta has rounded into form. You got to remember, they were a play call or two away from beating the Patriots and winning the Super Bowl last year. They're still an extremely talented team.
Yep.
They're at home, and like I said, they're motivated by a schedule where they need to they need to find a win somewhere bad, and this may be the moment. Texans at Titans, and what was it? Tom Savage can't give away the ball. Was that the quote? Like, we can win this game if Tom Savage doesn't give away. That's what Tom Savage does. I'm sorry. I feel bad for him. Clearly Deshaun Watson has that franchise now as soon as he gets healthy.
If he can get healthy.
And Savage had his shot here to maybe, play his way onto another team, and he just isn't. I love the Titans are not a great team yet, but I love the direction they're going in, and I love the simplicity of what they have to do. We have to pound the ball against the Texans team that is ready to quit. It's just that simple.
Yeah,
Texans, and maybe have our punter throw an amazing pass.
Yeah, the Texans lose Lamar Miller. I'm not quite sure how long he's out. It's Tuesday, folks, so don't go by this. But that seems to be.
If you're going by this, you're in trouble.
Well, but if you can't run, and the Titans certainly should be running better than they are. And here's my thing with the Titans. I think they're undercoached. I think this is a team that should be so much further up the peg than they are, and they don't seem to be going anywhere. I do like them at home this time just because they're home, and they have the more intact team, physically nobody's as hurt. I mean, they did lose.
They seem to be they seem to have come through this season relatively unscathed.
Yeah.
Thus far compared to other teams.
Mariota's been underwhelming this year. Not sure what's going on with Tennessee. I put it down to the coaching because they have a much better team than their record states. But I am taking Tennessee.
Chiefs at the Jets, and this one's interesting because I think if you go back and check about 5 episodes ago or 6 episodes ago, Stewart made a joke about once it turns 41, Alex Smith can't play, and I was like, "What are you talking about?"
That was Colin Cowherd's point.
He's MVP of the league. Him and Kareem Hunt are going to be the greatest players ever, and boy, has it gone south.
Yep.
To the point where they're wondering if Reed should make the call to Mahomes.
I don't think they're quite there yet.
No, Reed had made it kind of clear that he was sticking with Smith, and I think that's the right move.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a good. These are 2 solid coaches, and I'm not going to. We're talking a lot about bad coaching, but I'm not going to get on either of these guys. Bowles has done the best he could with what he has available to him. They've played hard a couple of times at home and come up with some surprising wins. I could see you picking the Jets here, but I'm taking the Chiefs just based on pure talent.
All right. Well, the last time the Chiefs were here a couple weeks ago versus the Giants, they laid a huge egg. And I can only guess that the Jets are going to take the blueprint of what the Giants did, because it's probably still in the basement of the stadium, where they go, "Oh, this is what the Giants did. Maybe we can win this one." Smith looks crappy in bad weather. The weather looks crappy on Sunday. I'm taking the Jets.
All right, hold up your left arm.
My left arm.
Yeah. Aqib Talib is like, give me that. Stu sporting the bling. We've got Denver at the Dolphins, and I like it personally. I can't pull off anything but a cheap Seiko watch. Seiko, sponsor of Electric Football.
What about Sony?
Oh, stop that. Anyway, Dolphin game, so Stu goes.
So who wants this less, the Broncos or the Dolphins? I honestly think the Broncos are going to win here. Miami, as much as Coach Gase is saying that we've got a lot of great talent on this roster, and they're doing all the right things.
And I'm getting nothing done with them.
Yeah, they do things great in practice. That's because you're playing the other shitty side of your team. Even Denver's going to beat you here. I can't imagine Broncos losing this game. Here's my final prediction. 6-3, Denver. I'm not even going to watch the game. I'm going to New York City for the day.
Yeah, what are you doing in the city?
I'm meeting my son and his girlfriend with my wife, and we're going to go do the whole Rockefeller Center thing.
Oh, okay. I hate Rockefeller Center.
Me
but
too,
that's,
but we got to go.
That's me.
I don't hate it. I just hate
the
crowds.
That freaking tree is one of the worst. I was in a crowd with mothers and children that were ready to stampede. It was ugly.
I like the wall on the
When
building.
a New York City police officer's going, no, okay, go. You know you're in a weird situation, and that's how fucking crowded that stupid tree was.
Ho.
Hate that stupid tree. You want to go ice skate? Go to a local rink. You can have some fun.
It's not cold enough. It's 50 degrees.
There is nothing great about Rockefeller Center. I'm sorry. You're not going to see Tina Fey and what's his name?
Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah. God bless
Hopefully
him.
not. Who do you like in this game?
Anyway, I didn't already pick Denver. I like Denver in this game. Just
right.
a much better defense. And, I found it funny that Talib and Crabtree were like, you snatched my chain. Let's go.
That was the best fight, actually, of any boxing match that I've watched this year.
I'm sorry, but how did Crabtree lose his helmet? Like, keep that thing on.
And who swings at a guy who still has his helmet on?
Well, you got to. If he's swinging at you got to swing back. Just go for the body. The body. Work the body. So, yeah, I like Denver based on their defense. And if you're a losing coach like Adam Gase, don't go, we've got a ton of talent on this team. Because
they look good on Wednesdays.
Somebody's got to look at you and go, then why aren't you getting anything out of them?
Yep.
But what you should do is do what Colts at Jacksonville should do what Chuck Pagano did, which is start quoting Bill Murray movies. Then there was this little groundhog. I'm not sure if it was Groundhog's Day or Caddyshack. Little thing popped up and it was like, I'm all right.
Oh,
Don't nobody worry about me.
Nobody's fighting on my team. Colts, Jags.
Colts, Jags. And Chuck Pagano's just losing it. What can you say here? As long as Jacksonville can keep the ball out of Blake Bortles' hands, as long as they don't have Doug Marrone blowing like clock management 101 at the end of games, they win.
Yeah.
And they've got a weak Colts team here that's clearly packed it in. Jacksonville wins this game. Jacksonville goes to the playoffs. Jacksonville is for real this year, at least their defense is.
I'm not 100% sold on that.
You can't be because Blake Bortles is back there like, Woohoo!
But they're beating bad teams, so they're going to beat the Colts. The Colts are bad in almost every category that there is, and they're challenging Miami for crappiest team, especially with Bortles on that pick near the end of the game the other day against
Well, he comes
Arizona.
up. Not only is he a turnover machine, but he times them so they have maximum impact to
Yeah.
like just.
I'm going to throw this at the 50 with 50 seconds left.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think the Jacksonville Jaguars run all over the Colts this time. They're just not a good team, but I don't see them getting into the playoffs.
Bucks at Packs and talk about not good teams. It's hard to get worked up about this week. I mean,
Yeah, there's really no good games.
No, the Viking-Falcon game is a good game. Carolina and the Saints is a good game. Eagles-Hawks is a good game. But there's a big chunk of mediocrity, and these two teams are that mediocrity. Who can say who's winning this game? I can't. I'm taking Green Bay because they're at home. Stu, maybe you have some good reasoning.
Why would I pick Tampa? No Florida teams won last week, and I think Jacksonville will win this week, so that's one of three. The Pack put up a fight against the Steelers, and you know what? They didn't give up yet. And although they're out of it, and let's face it, they're out of it.
They're out of it.
They're at least playing, and that's the difference between these two teams. Tampa's packed it in. Packers are going to win.
Two teams hoping to not be out of it, hope they're on the fringe of the playoffs are the Lions because of their loss on Thanksgiving, which made my day, and the Ravens because their punter threw a beautiful pass, and because they have a great defense again. It's funny how some teams keep the same identity, and the Ravens are pretty much we need to run the ball, we need our defense to win it type of team. And the Lions are pretty much we just got to fling it around and see what the hell happens kind of team. And that hasn't changed for about a decade. I like the Lions here. I like the Lions to fling it around and come up with a few big plays and to just basically outscore the Ravens. It's going to be 20-17, and I like the Lions to come out.
I don't know. I think the Lions are done. They just don't have enough consistency week to week. The Ravens' defense, I mean, it wasn't enough to keep me awake last night. I went to bed at the end of the third quarter.
Yeah, I went out myself.
And Flacco had like 70 yards. I don't know if it was halftime or if it was at the third quarter. The punter almost had as many yards as Flacco
There's
did
some
in the
teams
game.
looking at that punter now going,
But their defense is solid. The Lions just, I don't know what they do. At 1 week, they look like they're going to score 52 points on you, and the next week, they can barely get out of the 10-yard line on their own end. I'm taking the Ravens. They're home for the second week. It's going to be cold, and their defense should win this game.
Pats at Buffalo, and this is actually a harder game to call than I would have thought. Pats lost Martellus Bennett. Evidently, Green Bay was right, and he was injured. Buffalo has played well, other than when they threw Peterman out there. Peterman,
get in here. Take a memo.
Take a memo.
Just sounds like one of those office names.
You suck.
Peterman.
Read that back to me.
Peterman. What's the stocks doing today?
Anyway, the Pats are my pick until we
totally
Super Bowl.
into this week.
It is a weak-ass AFC this year. It really, really is. I mean, people are saying it's two teams, the Pats and the Steelers. It may only be one team based on what the Steelers' defense does. So, yeah, I like the Pats to cruise here. I like the Pats. The Super Bowl is going through. To get to the Super Bowl, you're going through New England or Philly. It's just that simple. And if you think you have a team that can do that in the AFC, you point them out to me because I don't see them.
Well, that's why next week's important. The Patriots are looking.
Oh, they're all both looking forward to that one.
It's Pittsburgh. I mean, it's going to decide your AFC champion next week, at least as far as home field advantage goes. I think if it goes to Pittsburgh, it's a lot harder for New England. If they get it at home, it's no contest. They're going to win. But why would you pick against New England here? The Bills beat Kansas City on the road, but the Kansas City Chiefs are collapsing. Meanwhile, and far away, the Patriots, they're walking through every game by doing what they do best, which is adapting their game plan to the team that they're playing every week. They have one time they're going to come out running at you, next time they're going to come out flinging the ball at you. You never know what they're going to do because they're smarter than everybody else. Patriots in a cakewalk here.
There you go. So we got San Francisco at Chicago. We're talking about games you really don't care about.
I've got a ton of notes on this.
The 49ers fans are getting grief from the players because they were cheering when Beathard got hurt, which is really classless. And you don't think of San Francisco fans as being like, you think of them as the wine and sushi guys. But Reuben Foster and one of the other 49ers, I can't remember which guy, were calling out their own fans, going like, "What the hell are you doing? He's hurt. Like, you don't know what this guy's going through." So handsome Jimmy Garoppolo gets in. He goes against ugly Trubisky, and you know, I think Trubisky is doing what you expect rookies to do. Like Deshaun Watson and Andrew Luck and guys like that come in and just light it up. That's not always the case.
Right.
So I think Bears fans have something to hang their hat on to. I think they have something to look forward to. And I think if you're a Bears fan, you can watch and go, I want to see the development of this kid, and I want to see him slowly progressing. And I think you have a very good chance of him, if they show some patience, and if they get some weapons around him, I think they have a very good chance of him being a good quarterback. The only thing interesting about this game is to watch to see how these two quarterbacks react to playing basically a team of even talent. And, in Garoppolo's hands, getting his shot, and in Trubisky, you want to see if he develops. So you have to be a hardcore NFL fan to like this one. I'm taking San Francisco on the assumption that Garoppolo can actually play.
As am I. And I think what's lacked in Chicago low these last 40 years is quarterbacking. They've never really had great quarterbacks.
Jim McMahon, I mean.
But that's what I mean. That team was all defense and Walter Payton.
Jim McMahon was talented.
He was talented, but one season. He had one season behind one of the greatest teams that ever walked on the field. Trubisky, however you say his name, is a talented enough kid with the right coaching and some weapons around him, which he doesn't have right now, has a future in the NFL. I just don't think it's in this game. I truly think Garoppolo, coming from the New England background, is smarter, probably already knows the playbook, had a couple weeks to watch what went on, and San Francisco has come to every game playing hard. They've only won one, but they played hard in every game, and that's the reason I'm taking them. They just tried.
You're right. San Francisco hasn't embarrassed itself.
No.
And we're going to talk about teams that kind of have. So we've got.
Speaking of,
we've got Cleveland at the Chargers, and this is an. And speaking of, I'd like to just point out, Stu moved up. Like, can you see that? That's Scotch, baby. That's not that weird chocolate milk thing he drinks.
It's such a bad season for me. I'm going to the hard brown, not the milky brown.
He's drowning his sorrows, and his sorrows are wearing little life preservers going, oh, crap. He brought the hard stuff.
Flipper ain't saving me this time.
Speaking of the hard stuff, Josh Gordon may be back in the NFL, which is a fascinating thing. Note to the world, Baylor sports need to just be completely and utterly eradicated. Like, think about this. Baylor has had a murder on their basketball team. They've had sexual harassment charges, and they have a football player, an ex-football player, admitting, like, yeah, I was a major drug dealer. Josh Gordon was getting pounds of marijuana through the mail, which, by the way, great job, Postmaster General, and selling it in college. And we hear all this shit about, like, the pre-draft, oh, they've done their due diligence and they've done a background check. He was fucking a kingpin in his dorm room. Nobody could figure that out. Like, I don't know if the rest of you all went to college, but everybody knew every goddamn thing that was happening in our dorm rooms.
Steve's got his Southern on, y'all.
No, I'm not. I'm serious. If somebody forgot to wipe, the rest of the hallway knew it, like, that instantaneously.
By the way, kudos to Clemson.
So yeah, God bless us. Though we have
and Auburn.
We have the loss against Syracuse. And all right, let's talk college football for 1 second. How the hell is it that you're Alabama? You're the number one team like the whole freaking year. You've been ranked ahead of Clemson the whole time. We lose to Syracuse. Crappy team. Sorry, but crappy team. Yes, our quarterback got hurt. Maybe you take that into account. Alabama loses. We're number one. They lose to Auburn, who beat Georgia, who's a hell of a great team and has We're number one. They're number 5. That don't make sense.
Yeah.
And what is it? The University of Central Florida or something's undefeated.
By the way, I think it was Thursday night.
Glad to see those freaking Hurricanes go down, though.
Was it UCF and Florida Atlantic or something?
UCF.
Holy crap, what a game. It was maybe it was Friday night. I tuned in. This game ended 48-45 or something like that. Both teams scored with a minute left. It was outstanding.
So you're watching electric college football with Bear Bryant. Pace,
oh, by the way, Chargers-Browns. Chargers.
And Woody Hayes Brown. Speaking of bad coaching decisions.
Here you go.
The Giants at the Raiders. And, oh my God, they decided the way to fix the Giants this late in the season, where they have, 2 wins, is to bench Eli Manning, the guy that has won them Super Bowls and has been nothing but a class act, who has a streak going because he has played through pain, who has not uttered one word like, hey, my
Fire
coach
McAdoo
sucks.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Eli has probably kept that locker room together more than anybody else on the offense. I promise you that. It seems like Eli and Landon Collins are kind of the go-to Giants, and I love locker room dynamics.
They're going to lose the team this week. I mean, this is it.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And to go to Davis Webb may have made some sense. You can say this kid has not had a shot in the NFL. We don't know what he can do. We'd asked Eli if he would step aside to give the kid a chance in a wasted season.
And so you don't get hurt in meaningless games.
And we will save you at the end of your career to come back next year when we have hopefully rejiggered this team and gotten you some talent and gotten our superstar wide receiver healthy and our other 2 complimentary wide receivers healthy. But no, Ben fucking McAdoo decides, you're the problem, Eli. You're the asshole. Not me, you.
That's
Eli, you the asshole. So yes, Ben McAdoo, you have taken the worst coach ever in New York. You've ripped that from Isaiah Thomas.
Ray Kotite.
You make Ray Kotite look good. Ray Perkins.
Oh my God.
Sorry. The Giants are a dumpster fire that's being put out with urine. It's the worst smell I've ever seen out of the Meadowlands. And that's a swamp. It has gases. So yes, the Raiders are going to win this game. And oh my God, how you decide that that's the way to solve this problem. Geno Smith is your answer. Geno Smith. You want to get Mark Sanchez here too?
Yep.
Sorry, go.
Raiders, beat Denver last week, and they do get to stay home for the second week in a row here. I only had the Raiders winning by maybe 1 until this afternoon's news. I think this now becomes a blowout because not because the Giants are that bad. I think they quit on this coach.
They had already quit. They had guys not showing up.
Yeah, but this is it. Now you're taking out our leader.
And the coach is famous for throwing people under the bus and has thrown Eli under verbally multiple times, but now he just physically grabbed his ass and threw him under.
That's why there's so much traffic on the turnpike if you're watching this live.
Say, call him Bunchy for me. I love when you call him Bunchy.
Coach Bunchy.
Coach Bunchy here.
Ray, should I sit Eli, Ray?
And he's a flat line. Like, oh my God.
That hair. It's like Max Headroom had a heart attack. Panthers Saints, game of the week. Woo, something good to talk about here.
I'm sorry, but when you make Rex Ryan look like a smart coach, all right,
Here's my Sanchez tat.
You got. Oh yeah, that was a great.
Sorry,
I got a foot fetish and a Sanchez tat, and I look better than Bunchy.
Oh man.
You go.
All right. Well, it's hard to pick this.
I burned myself out.
Carolina's certainly on the uptick here, and the Saints found out what happens when you play a really good defense. Cam has to be on the top of his game to win this one. Like I said last week, if he's smiling and having a good time, they're winning. If he's not smiling and not having a good time, they're going to lose, and they're going to lose big. Here's the thing. I'm taking the Saints to win it in the end because I just trust Breeze. They lost a heartbreaker here. Carolina's defense is as good as the Rams, but the Saints figure this out. I'm taking the Saints.
Yeah, this is one of those ones where it's really a toss-up, but home field advantage and what the Saints have been able to... It's strength against strength, though, because the Saints' running game is going to get neutralized by the Panthers' line and by the Davis and
we'll
Kuechly.
see. I mean, they got two guys, not one.
No, I know, but the Panthers really match up well against what the Saints currently do.
Oh, that's because their linebackers are so good.
And their line is good too. They free up those linebackers. Like you may not be getting the tackles, but you get the. Remember when the Vikings had both Fat Williams? We had Pat and Kevin Williams. They had these 2 giant guys, and they had like 1 sack between them and about 4 tackles for the season. But they were just eating
But they took 5 guys' attention.
They were eating up linemen. Like offensive linemen would try and block somebody else, and the Williams would just belly buck them. I got you and you. I'm gonna do my comic geekdom here for a second. Anyone remember the Warriors 3? Volstagg, the big fat guy, he'd make a hell of a defensive tackle. Anyway, I'm with you on this. I trust Breeze to be a little more consistent. I like what the Saints do. I don't think they match up well against Carolina, but they're at home and they really can take the division right here and now.
Yeah, right.
They also have a tough schedule, Carolina and the Falcons and that sort of thing. So this is a crucial game for them, and I think they come out fired up, and I think they win this game.
Okay. Rams Cards.
Rams Cards. Blaine Gabbert, Bruce Arians.
He's going to be my quarterback next year, too.
He could be a starting quarterback for anybody. Yeah, Jacksonville thought that too, didn't they?
Yeah.
No offense to him, but the Rams are a much better team right now. I mean, the Honey Badger can bite you, as he did this week.
Mm-hmm.
But the Rams are a better all-around team. Cardinals, the loss of David Johnson was the biggest thing.
They can't run, and so all the Rams have to do is pin their ears back, go after the quarterback because they cannot run.
Right, and it's not like it's Carson Palmer, of 10 years ago back there. It's not even Drew Stanton back there anymore. It's Blaine Gabbert. It's a shame to see what so many teams in the NFL are down to their third-string quarterback, their fourth-string wide receiver is their starting guy. There might be, and this has been, as much as we love football, this has been a really tough season to get excited about, and I can't fully explain that, but I know everybody's feeling that way.
Yep.
It's a good game. It's not a great game.
Right.
It's a game that the Rams should win. The NFC has so many good teams this year. The AFC is a weak-ass division this year, and when we hit the playoffs, you're going to see some great matchups in the NFC.
Yeah, that's actually what I'm looking forward to.
That's what I'm looking forward to, too.
Yeah.
And I think the Rams can help cement that with a big win here. So I'll take the Rams.
The Rams can hit you with the big play. They seem to do it 2-3 times in a game where a guy gets open and the yards after catch are just extreme. I think they can do this against the Cardinals. I don't usually like to take the road team in a divisional game typically, but I think the Rams are just far superior to the Cardinals this year, taking the Rams.
There you go. So we got Eagles at Seahawks, or as we like to say,
Bird fight! Oh.
God, we suck.
That is.
For the 50 people that watch us, thank you very much. We appreciate it. And MP in Germany, Guten Tag, baby, Guten Tag. You've been a solid supporter, and we appreciate the foreign presence that we have. Anyway, the Eagles have been by far the best team. They're having fun. They're doing the little bowling celebration. Carson Wentz appears to be one hell of a leader. Wentz and Russell Wilson really remind me of each other in their games. They have very similar games.
Mm-hmm.
They both run well. They don't take big hits. They both have big arms and prefer to air it out. I don't know how to explain this, but I like Seattle in this game.
Wow.
I do. I know. They have been less impressive this year than I thought they would be. I got early. I got all excited. It's like, I'm moist about Seattle. And that hasn't really panned out. The home field advantage thing. And
that's gone away, in my opinion.
I know. It has a little bit. But it's also, this is the week where you start looking at desperation. Where you go, all right, the Eagles have it. They know they have it. Like, we're in. We know it. We're traveling to the West Coast. We're coming off a big victory. Maybe we're a little fat and happy. Seattle's like, oh, shit. Like, we may not have this.
Yeah.
Like, we got to scrap and claw. So, for a few teams, the playoffs start this week. And Seattle is really one of those teams.
Yeah.
And I'm doing this on a, like I did with the Falcons, basically. Just a desperate cornered bird will scratch and claw you.
Well, this is a game that John Denver would like, even though he really couldn't fly so well.
Wow.
You have to look it up. Hawks need the magic to happen. No. The Eagle and the Hawk. Come on, don't make me say
I don't know the song.
Oh, it's great.
Because I didn't listen to John Denver. West Virginia.
Mountain Mama.
Stewart's drinking scotch.
Seattle has won the last 3 in this series, and I just don't think they're going to
win. Look at him with the facts.
4 in a row. I'm off this week, so I've used the internets to look this up.
Do they have that on computers now, the internet?
Yeah, the interwebs. Al Gore invented it. So anyway, I think the Eagles are just on a roll. I think they're confident.
They're on a hoagie.
I don't think they'll give up. I don't think this is a game where they're going to say, we can take the week off, because the Rams are 1 game behind them, playing just as well as they are. taking the Eagles.
Okay. Yeah, I will certainly not be surprised if I'm wrong on that one. I'm just going with the we're more desperate than you are theory of bird fighting here. So we finish up with the Steelers versus the Bengals, and last week I picked against the Bengals against the Browns. So do I believe in the Bengals? No, I do not. And I would love to see Joe Mixon fail. Unfortunately, I would love to see Marvin. Well, I have seen Marvin Lewis fail.
He's been failing since he got in the freaking league.
Yes, Antonio Brown is currently just carrying the Steelers. Plus, I love their tight end, Jesse James.
Jesse James.
Expect him to come out with
doesn't do anything.
Pull out the six gun.
Worth putting his face on a bank wall. But.
No, I think they miss Heath Miller a little bit there. But I do like when he comes out in the pregame warm-ups and he has the bandana hanging down here so you can't recognize him.
And he goes, "We don't need all stinking badges."
Who the hell? If your family's last name is James and you got a boy, really, Jesse?
Yeah. Well, that's like people, William Williams.
If your last name's Dillinger, you naming him John?
Yeah.
Like, come on. I'm sorry. It just seems like a mistake. Where was I going with this? I like the Steelers. Much more explosive team, headed to the showdown with New England.
And they have to win this.
They're already talking about the New England game, so you hope they don't overlook it. I don't think the Steelers are nearly as impressive as their record would say they are, but I think they win this game fairly.
Yeah, Howdy Doodle.
Marvin Lewis's.
Howdy Doody will fold like a cheap tent against this Pittsburgh defense. Vegas says Pittsburgh.
But you make it sound like Pittsburgh's got a great defense.
They don't, but it's Howdy Doody. Look.
Hey, wait, I was red. Before I was gray, I had red hair.
Really?
Don't start that.
Well.
More of a Richie Cunningham red than a Howdy Doody red.
Anyway, Vegas says Pittsburgh wins, and I'm not going to go against the guys that actually run the NFL on that. I am taking the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have to win this game to make next week's game important.
Holy crap, we went over a half an hour.
How do we do this? Are you people watching?
If you stuck, clearly by the numbers you're not, but if you are one of the 3 people that watch, we will respond to any comments you put on there.
And we love you.
We love you. We do have one person in Germany, so, we're Ich bin ein Berliners.
Yeah, and if you're on Facebook, go to the NFL YouTube prognosticators. You can see a whole bunch of people that do the same thing as we do, some a lot better.
Including Half Moon Pick, whose show is going to look better than it ever did because it's going to be drenched in Viking color.
Oh, yeah, we have to watch it for sure, the whole thing this week. I want to see that. And Gio knows who runs the whole thing. Gio,
another Viking fan.
From Canada.
Hey.
Their fields are bigger.
We love you. We appreciate it. We hope you enjoyed having a drink and talking football with us.
See ya.
And watching electric football.